Hello everyone, welcome back to Project Zomboid, and today you find me chopping down some trees. Oh yes, now we've got a bit of a plan for the next couple of days that is basically involving doing a little bit of work on the farm, or specifically for the farm, but not actually on the farm. Now the idea behind this is we're going to build some compost bins. As you can see, we've got one there already. We're sawing up some logs, and we're going to make a few more. Now these things are kind of spendy on the old planks. They cost 5 a piece, but we are going to need them because fertiliser is not easy to get hold of. I think we lucked out at the warehouse the last time getting a few bags that we used, but we ran out. So today's adventure is, well, as you can see, for one, building these compost bins. And once we get that done, we're off on a little bit of a road trip into the countryside. So I went down and hopped in the original van, truck, box, car, thing, whatever it is that we got. I think we decided it was a truck, didn't we? And we headed on out, down our makeshift road, and out onto the main road here by the farm, and we're going to go up here and then take a right because there's a couple of farms I want to have a quick check through, and I believe there's a warehouse over here as well. And of course that had to happen, didn't it? That sign clearly said stop, so I stopped on it and dented the front of the truck already. Not 5 minutes into the video and I've already crashed. There you go. Lovely stuff. So we're heading on down the road, and this time I found a tree. Yes. Fantastic. This poor truck isn't even going to make it to the location at this rate if I'm not careful. But yeah, there you go. Driving skills aside, it's looking fairly quiet out here in the country, which is not too bad. We'll try not to crash into the fence there. Not quite sure what happened with my driving, but I think the brakes on this thing might need a bit of a tune-up. So we got around that car, headed on down the road a bit further, and came across an interesting looking little house with some vehicles outside of it. So, in true fashion, I park up on the grass, as any good white van man would do. White truck man, yeah, whatever. We had a quick look in the pickup truck. It looks like it's in pretty good condition, but there was no sign of keys, and there wasn't really anything massively useful loot-wise there. But hopped in to the garage and found a few metalworking supplies that should be quite good, quite useful, because we can always use a few more metalworking supplies. So I grabbed out what I wanted from there, headed back to the truck and popped them in the backside. I put them in the back of the van truck after dropping the propane tank on the floor, because yeah, that's the smart thing to do in this situation. So I picked it back up, shoved it in the back of the truck, and had a quick peruse on these vehicles. And this estate car, station wagon looking thing might be usable for a throwaway vehicle or something, but didn't have a great deal of loot in it. Just a manky looking wrench. However, there were a few handy things in the back of the other car. An axe and some seeds, and a tote bag, which I don't think we're going to take, but garbage bag for sure. And I got those moved out of the way, and then headed into the house to have a look around. And it was at that point a zombie appeared, just hiding in the corner, paying no attention to me. Apparently my stealth skill must be quite good at this point. So I hopped into the kitchen and grabbed a little bit of a snack out of one of the cupboards here. Chugged some canned evaporated milk. What a delicious drink. And it was off in the van again just to check out the two sort of utility buildings just north of the house itself. Door wasn't going to work there, so I checked a window, found a way in. Hopefully there's some good stuff in here. At the very least, we found some more propane, so that'll come in handy. Another mask, a metal rod, bunch of seeds. Can't go wrong with seeds. We are going to need a lot of those to ride out the apocalypse. And some screws, some wood glue, a few odds and ends. Back in the truck and up to the other shed. Well, this one was much the same in terms of seeds at least, but it had a couple of wheels in it as well. Wheels and tyres for that sports car that we've got. And some more seeds. And some fertiliser, which is hilarious because the whole point of this trip is to get produce to make our own compost fertiliser out of. But anyway, we head on down the road again and come to one of the warehouses. Well, two of the warehouses. So let's have a quick look inside, get the van backed in so we can start the lengthy process of nicking all their rotten grub. Oh yes. Now, I had a quick look around the cabinets and stuff and found yet more seeds, which are always nice. Can't go wrong with seeds. And then realised there was a warehouse worker that was still floating around. So we introduced him to a hammer and then started the long process of looting all this rotten stuff. And there's a lot of rotten stuff in here. So this is going to be quite a long and arduous task. Luckily we have a spare knapsack that we can load some stuff into. Go back and forth, grab as much as we can, load it into the bags, and then head over back to the truck and pop it all in, and rinse and repeat. After we picked that warehouse completely clean and managed to fill this truck almost to capacity, I think it was a 400 unit trunk space this thing has, and we pretty much packed it out with about 300 kilograms of rotten food. So heading on down the road and run across this ambulance. A bit of a car wreck going on here. Poor sods. They didn't need that. But in typical Project Zomboid fashion, I decided to put them out of their misery. Have a quick scout through the ambulance, grabbed a trauma bag, nothing special. And back down the road, and darkness was setting in nicely, so I decided to pull in and see if we could find ourselves a place to sleep. Now, it's always worth checking these little side garage buildings, just in case they have a generator or some useful parts and things in it. So I tried the main door, that wasn't going to work. The small door didn't work, but there was a window that let me in, so that was good. Nothing much in the main area, but there is this interesting looking water filter. I wonder what we'll use that for. We'll grab that, because that could be quite handy later on. And another sports tyre for that lovely sports car we've got back at base. Back in the truck and off up the road to the house. Aha, yes. Now this is what that water filter was for, I believe. If that's what I think it is, it's an actual water tanker, which would be very handy. We may have to take that up to a lake at some point to fill it up, because it's probably empty. Let's have a quick look and see exactly what this thing is. If I can figure out how to do mechanics. Ah, yes, there we go. And it is indeed a water trailer. And there is the filter. I'm not sure how that filter is going to work at the moment, if the low quality one will still filter the water out for us or not, but we'll figure that out as we go. So I hopped into the house, to have a quick look around, check for zombies, grab some snacks, and have a bit of a kip because it's getting late. The next morning, it was back in the truck, got the water tanker connected, and we are driving a bit slowly now. I don't think the hitch on the back of this truck is good for that particular type of trailer, and also it's loaded down with a stupid amount of rotten fruit and veg, so this is going to be a very long drive home, I think. Long drive indeed. At least the sun's coming up nicely, so that's a good sign. Still driving as slowly as ever, can't seem to get out of second gear, but we did eventually make it back to the farm, which is good. So, drove up to the house, dropped off the tanker, and then headed up to the actual planting area where we've got those compost things going. Had a quick look at the actual farm itself, because as you can see, the wheat has started growing. It is in stage 2 now. It looks like a few of the other plants that we've got growing are also in stage 2. That is really good. Hopefully the fertiliser we put on them and what we're going to get from this compost eventually will increase the speed in which they grow, and possibly the what's the number? The amount that we get from them when they're grown. So now begins the arduous task of unloading all the fruit and veg. Now, as you can see, we got an absolute ton of stuff. Many bags, some watermelons, some sliced watermelon, all sorts of stuff. So this is where the fun begins. Open everything out, chuck it in the thing. Now, I did just try here opening the bags while they were in the composter in the hopes that it would open them into the composter, but sadly not. It just opens them back into my inventory, which is fine. That's not a massive problem. But for now, we are going to leave our little feld in here, going through all this produce, filling up these composters. And if you've enjoyed whatever this little short video was, then do please give us a subscribe. Hit the old like button too. Comments, shares, always good. And with that, I shall bid you all farewell. Cheerio, everyone.